Hello, I'm Gary Grimes, and I'm enrolled in the Creative Writing for Entertainment program at Full Sail University. Recently, I've networked with a few writers and producers, and today I want to share my experience with you.
Who was the first industry professional you contacted and how?
The first industry professional I contacted was Bill Burr, and I reached out to him on Twitter.
How important is this person to your network?
Bill is extremely important to my network because since its release on Netflix, F is for Family, it's a animated comedy series. I've always been interested on how he was able to create a show that received excellent reviews on Netflix, which resulted in, there being rumors that there's a possibility that he would carry out to season two. After holding out for so long, rumors have been confirmed. Season two will be out December of 2016.
What tips or lessons did you learn from the individual?
Well, the tips and lessons that I learned from him was if you decide to get into comedy, there's no turning back. It has nothing to do with talent, it's all about desire. He also makes it known that it has nothing to do with making 6 or 7 figures. If you're in it to make the riches, then it'll never be worth it. Bill speaks passionately about how not to let stumbling blocks distract you from what's important within.
How did he become successful?
Well, he became successful by doing stand up comedy for years, making himself exposed to the world. From that point on, he knew, he could create a long lasting impression on society, so that gave him room to create the new comedy series on Netflix.
Why don't you think you didn't receive contact from him?
Well, I didn't receive contact from Bill because he's still preparing for his show, season two, F is for Family, to come out on Netflix. And I think that he's wrapping up the post production portion, so that can make a creator really busy.
Okay, and so who was the second industry professional you contacted and how?
Jamie Foster Brown, she's my second one I contacted, and I contacted her as well through Twitter.
How important is this person to your network?
Well, she's really important to my network along with the articles in her magazine she has published. She's also a TV producer. That's the extreme importance of her to my network. Eventually, I'll love to become a producer, so that's why I reached out to her. She has many other experiences as well in the creative writing industry.
What tips or lessons did you learn from the individual?
Well, reading about her past, she's worked from the bottom up, starting as only a secretary, moving all the way up to a TV producer. That's a large jump, even though it takes time, still a large jump. It's proof that if you get your foot into the door, working for anyone in the entertainment industry, you can learn what to do to start climbing the ladder to get to the success level that you want to reach.
Okay. And how did she become successful?
Well, she started off going to a small college in Chicago, Illinois, later transferring to Stockholm University for a more promising opportunity in the entertainment industry. Then she started a ticket company shortly after called the Washington Theater Group.
Why don't you think you didn't receive contact from her?
I didn't receive contact from her because she's extremely busy working on her magazine. She's also taken on more roles since the passing of her husband last August, which has kept her extremely busy.
Okay, and finally, who is the third industry professional you contacted and how?
Tyler Perry. I reached out to him on Twitter as well.
Okay. How important is this person to your network?
Mm, I can't even explain how important he is. That's just how important he is. Due to the fact that to, you know, he's gone through so many things to get to where he is today. Being homeless, and now he's a multi-million dollar figure in this industry.
Okay. What tips or lessons did you learn from the individual?
I learned regardless of what you're going through in life, always keep the faith and never give up. You have to keep reaching for your goal. Another tip, he used the example, he was watching the Oprah Winfrey show one day, and she says, regardless of what you have going on. If something interesting comes to mind, write it down. Well, he started writing it down, which led him to become the great writer, everything that he is today.
Okay.
I always stay optimistic. That's another thing he says.
Okay. How did he become successful?
Well, he became successful from writing plays, films, and books. He also never gave up on becoming an entrepreneur. Now he's a successful producer, director, actor, screenwriter, playwright, author, songwriter, and once again, like I said before, entrepreneur.
Then why don't you think you didn't receive contact from him?
Well, that's really easy. I didn't receive contact from Tyler Perry because he's on a screening tour for his new hit movie, Boo, a Medea Halloween. He's also writing and producing the second season of Too Close to Home.
What steps will you make in order to continue to network?
I will constantly be reaching out to other professionals and peers, even entrepreneurs, through different social media sites. I'll continue doing research and finding out what it is, what is the best ways to network.
Okay. In the future attempts at networking, what methods will you use?
Um, that's really easy. Seeking a career as a creative writer, I will continue to reach out to professionals through Facebook groups for screenwriters, Twitter's free weekly Snapchat. Well, I'm sorry, not Snapchat, Script Chat, which has more opportunities, to network with industry professionals.
Okay.
I will also reach out to other students at different universities. It doesn't just stop at Full Sail.
Awesome. How do you feel about the creative writing industry?
Creative writing is an industry for innovators. It's an industry that requires constant thinking. It's extremely fun and rewarding.
Okay, and what about the filmmaking industry? How do you feel about that?
The filmmaking industry is a way to bring what is written on paper to life. It's amazing because you're putting what's going on inside of your head on camera, and other human beings are entertained by it.
And how do you feel about the media communication industry?
It's an industry that keeps other sections within the entertainment industry linked together. Professionals within the media communications industry are the go-to specialists throughout the entertainment industry. They possess the knowledge of each area involving entertainment.
So how does each industry rely kind of on each other to be successful?
Each industry has a task that is responsible for, um, let's say, each industry each industry has a specific task that's responsible for something which links it all together. For example, Ford Motor Company has a manufacturing plant that makes the engine, and they have another manufacturing plant that makes the frame for the specific car that the engine goes into. In order to create a successful film for a broad audience, the foundation would start with the creative writer. Then the cinematographer has to create the perfect image that attracts the audience. And lastly, the media communication specialists are the individuals that handle the marketing and advertising, which helps out with your brand.
Okay. And how do you plan on using the other industries to further your brand?
As a screenwriter, I can use a cinematographer in the film industry to help with how I want my story to look on camera. I can also use someone in the media communication industry to present my work to the public by using social media networks, commercials, billboards, and more. Thank you for taking the time to view my video on networking.